works now. Can you see my screen?
I do. OurClub.tech. I see the banner, so to
All
speak.
right, well, fantastic. Well, we know we're on track. We're five minutes into it. But listen, I'm excited to be here. This is a culmination of a lot of work
A lot of work.
that you've put in. And I just want to welcome everybody. This is our first regular happy half hour. That's what we're going to call these. We're going to be doing these quite frequently throughout the year as a part of OurClub.tech. And I am just fortunate to be here as your moderator and be joined by our good doctor, Dr. Douglas Hines. Say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
There we go. All right. Well, great.
We
well, listen, I know everybody's got us booked for half an hour, so we got some exciting things to talk about. So I want to jump right in here. There are some very exciting things happening here at OurClub.tech, and what we want to share with you are those things, as well as how you can join us. And I know a lot of you probably got this invite or connected with us through coaching platforms or coaching connections. So our first happy half hour, we're going to talk a little bit about coaching, most specifically. And one of the things that we have realized is in the coaching industry today, there is simply a huge problem. And that problem is that coaches today simply lack the technology first and the community second, really needed to take their business to the next level. I mean, we've done a lot of research, and there are many disjointed apps out there, as well as other organizations that attempt to fill parts of this hole. But no one has really been able to provide what I would refer to as the holy grail of integration until now. And that is where OurClub.tech comes in. So what is it? What is OurClub.tech? Well, it's a place, and it's both a virtual place, as we are right now, as well as a physical place, which we will be together in the future, where people come together to belong. People want to belong. There is a great need for belonging in our society today. And OurClub.tech is meant to be that place where people can come together to belong to a community for coaching, for leadership, for innovation, and for other things. And it's not just for coaches, Doug, as you like to remind me. It's not just for coaches,
Right.
But coaches can benefit greatly through our platform. And really, when you think about it, this is kind of the culmination of your lifelong dream that you've had since you were in academia, et cetera, when you came up with this idea. And you have a very unique background. And I don't want to read your entire LinkedIn profile to everybody, but I just want to point out a couple of things here. You have a doctorate in social psychology. So you've been in academia. You were a partner at KPMG, one of the world's most renowned consulting firms, as a partner. So you were in the business. Right. You developed a patent that is the backbone of our technology. You've built multiple businesses. And most importantly, and we'll talk about this invention, but you created Amy, and we'll talk about that. But before we get too deep into the business, can you just tell us a little bit about you and how you came up with this community idea?
Okay, so there's a simple answer to that question, and that is I understand the importance of sharing as an intellectual effort, also as a practical business effort. Communities do better than individuals, and that fundamental precept is part of the fabric of OurClub.tech. Now, the actual sort of the sequence of events in my career. I started out in college working in a neuroscience lab, and that's where I really learned about the power of operant learning, which is part of aiming. Then in college, as a psychology student, I also became very interested in the importance of self-awareness. But I really didn't start digging in to the importance of teams and community until graduate school, and in particular my doctoral dissertation. Now, this was an unusual way to get into community because I studied works of Sigmund Freud. He's a controversial figure, but one of the things that was true of his work, he understood that humans create other humans. And his fundamental principles of identification, he called it, really showed that other people are what make us who we are. So when I've got this patent, I've got a lot of background in business, academia, and my goal with this is to let everyone share sort of my background that's baked into this app and the concept for OurClub.tech. And so that's where we are now. And we're taking this to the world, so to speak, as you were saying earlier, and we're going to let everybody benefit.
Well, I absolutely think it's fantastic. As a matter of fact, the first time you were telling me about this, light bulbs were just clicking off in my brain, where I think and where I believe this can be used, especially in my experience as well. So let's talk a little bit about why OurClub.tech is the answer. Well, OurClub.tech, we talked about that huge problem in this coaching business, and Our Club fills that gap. And it fills the gap in the coaching business by providing the technology and the community in basically an otherwise solitary business for most coaches. I mean, this can be a lonely business if you're an independent coach, out there on your own, beating the streets, getting your own clients. So we wanted OurClub.tech to combine the benefits of business networking with a patented coaching tool. And that is the differentiator. And so we wanted our members to have a better choice for investing both their time and their money in their own practice. And so, when we talk about networking, let's talk about two groups in particular. We'll start off with BNI. BNI, some of you may know, is the world's largest business referral networking organization. You meet people and you get referrals. You basically pay, $250, I believe it is, to join, and around $650 a year in a membership fee. And every month you get together and you sit around and you have scrambled eggs or pancakes together, and you pass out business cards or referrals back and forth. The difference is inside BNI, you have very different businesses referring to each other. So you may have a CPA, you may have an attorney, you may have a home contractor, you may have a real estate agent. So there's not really the ability to collaborate and innovate together inside BNI because you're all doing different things. There's really only an opportunity to network and to pass referrals. Now, a second networking group is called Vistage. And Vistage is perhaps the premier business networking organization for executive coaching. Now, the initiation fee for that is more than $2,000, and the annual dues can range anywhere from $10,000 to almost $17,000 a year. So quite a different a different group when you begin to talk about expenses. So the other thing is coach training and certification is available from many sources, and that process can take up to 2 years in some cases or more, and can cost over $20,000. I think, Doug, you were telling me a story that you just bumped into someone last night who had to pay over $30,000 just to get a set of slides. So, it's all over the map here when we begin to look at this. Yeah. So becoming in OurClub.tech, becoming a certified facilitator coach, which is our term, this is not coach training. You simply learn to use a method, a process with predictable results. You learn to use a tool.
Right.
That is what separates us from all the rest. So, Doug, I've talked about this technology and how it is super unique and how we're the only ones that have it. So can you tell us just a little bit about this technology and what makes our club unique?
Well, let's start with the fact we're the only ones that have it. This is a patented process. And in our consulting days, for the benefit of the audience, Brian and I were both out there in that consulting world. This is what it is called a repeatable solution. It works every single time. Now, there's a lot of technology out there. The organizations you just mentioned, they have technology in the picture, but this is not technology, really. This is a tool. This is something you use to get a particular task done. And when you become a certified facilitator coach, you are being certified that you know how to use this tool. Now, knowing how to use this tool requires this scientific background that I was talking about before. The science is baked in. You learn the science, but you learn to use the tool, and you facilitate the process where end users get the most from AMI, adaptive motivational interaction. That's the name in commerce we're using to refer to the process that's outlined in my tool, in my patent. So that, I say this all the time, and you're tired of hearing it probably by now, Brian. That is what we are offering, a tool, not a technology. There's technology involved, of course, but it's a way to make things happen. It's a way to let other people improve themselves.
And it's just absolutely amazing how your vision through academia, through the corporate world, et cetera, has really come to fruition, and simply how fast the technology is changing right now that allows this solution to come to market right now.
That's correct.
So our club has the technology, and we're the only ones who have this technology and this tool. But tell me why the community aspect is so integral to the success of our club.
So you mentioned earlier that there's all these problems out there that coaches have, and they do have problems. And we're mindful of that. And so the community element of the OurClub.tech concept is important for so many reasons. Number one, when you join, you become a member of a group. When you go to the OurClub.tech website, you, Brian, are the person on the explainer video telling folks what this really means. The club tie, you belong to a group with a shared identity, shared goals, but really more important, shared expertise. We use the concept of Occam's razor. That you only need certain concepts to understand AMI, but everybody will know what they are, and that's crucial. And then we've also, I don't know if we're going to get to talk about this in this meeting. We've also identified 5 core skills that people, in our view, we have a curated concept here, should learn, and they are in the end user perfect coaches. And you're introduced to each of these in a minute. But for the coaches, we have our club KSAs. It's a continuing education app that is also a continuing education environment that the coaches can use. So there's collegiality, the sense of shared resources, our club KSAs. Everybody can contribute to that. It's a curated app, a curated process. And I think that's really going to be the most important thing. And it's for everybody in the world, basically. And everybody who wants to do this can do this. And that's also, this egalitarian element is also an important thing.
Well, and that's the other great thing about the technology and the tool is that it is 100% scalable. And you talked about anywhere in the world, this tool will operate anywhere in the world. And I think that's really pretty cool. So, so let's see here. So we talked earlier about this huge problem that exists, in coaching, and that there are actually many ways that you can become a better coach when you join OurClub.tech. So there's a few specific things that you can do. You can learn from other experts. I mean, we have a number of experienced coaches who are willing to share their knowledge and their expertise. You can get feedback from other coaches. OurClub.tech provides a platform for coaches to give and receive feedback. And that's going to help you identify areas where you can improve and develop your coaching skills. You get certified as a facilitator coach, and we offer that certification program for facilitator coaches that's going to teach you the skills and knowledge that you need to be a successful coach using this tool. And then once you're certified, you're going to be able to build your own team of end users and function truly as an international independent business. And then, also we talked about networking and collaborating with other coaches and other professionals. So what else, Doug, does our club do to address that huge problem in the coaching industry?
So if folks in the audience, if you're familiar with the PMP, the Project Management Professional Certification, one of the folks that we gave an open house in Tampa last night. One of the folks there gave up on the PMP. It was too hard, but really wanted it because it certified her as a project management professional. We want this to be a comparable credential. When if you are a certified facilitator coach, that means you have a fundamental grounding in the science of human behavior, and that grounding is actually built into the tool that you have mastered the use of. So if you're a coach out there and you're trying to establish your own credentials, and you have a couple slide decks, no, that's not what this is. You have been trained in the behavioral science that's necessary to make this work. And that sets us apart. That's our tool, and our science sets us apart. And our commitment to let everyone benefit from that is really what I believe in my heart sets us apart.
Absolutely. So I know we've talked a lot about coaching, leading up to here, but we can also, there's other aspects of OurClub.tech. Talk to us a little bit about leading as a part of OurClub.tech.
So coach is a noun. The coach is also a verb. And in business, most everyone is in there coaching. They're helping their subordinates, they're helping their superiors understand things. So the leadership potential of this, it has two elements to it. If you go out as an independent professional, you have this credential that other folks don't have, and that's important. And this is, if you can visualize, because we just did this yesterday in Tampa, if you can visualize being a coach to a person who is also being coached by Amy on a Apple Watch, then you're in a unique position because you're working with this artificial intelligence. And remarkably enough, the watch can say more than 1 million different things in response to what an end user says. So you've just got this toolkit that enables you to lead independently, but also inside of an organization. As you and I both know, Brian, we were at KPMG. Leadership is very much lacking inside of a lot of large organizations. Nobody wants to step forward, and here's a chance for you to step forward and lead. And the way we're set up as a business, and this is a business, if you find a client who wants to use your services, even if you don't belong to that organization now, you can become a leader inside of that world. And so the possibilities are endless, really, but they're all focused on this core set of knowledge and this core commitment to help.
Absolutely. And the other aspect of it is innovating. And we talked earlier about collaborative innovation. Tell us just briefly, how do you see that inside OurClub.tech?
Okay, so I'm going to sound like a consulting guru, but here again, we have a repeatable solution for collaborative innovation. And we have a 2-minute video that it identifies this, how it works. And basically, if you can envision this, you meet a person who's another club member, you've never really talked to them before, you exchange elevator pitches with this person, and then you speculate based on that. Well, what are some possibilities that we could do together? And then you go to ChatGPT and flesh this out. And it's a predictable process. It's a step-by-step process. And those of you who are familiar with brainstorming know how that works. You just list everything, and then you eliminate the ones that are not good choices. And that's how our process works. It's a predictable process, and I'm confident it works because I've used it before.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, what people will find out when they go to OurClub.tech is that we're going to offer 2 distinct levels for our members. The first level is going to be the Adventure Clubhouse. It's going to include a Perfect Coaches end-user subscription that we talked about earlier, the continuing education through OurClub KSAs that you mentioned. You're going to have access to our private Facebook community where other members come to connect, share, and innovate together. And you're going to have eligibility for that certified facilitator coach exam. Plus, you'll be able to have free entrance to all of our Club local meetings worldwide, and an invitation to our Club annual summit. We're not going to make an announcement where that is just yet. So look for that in early 2024, but we will be getting together physically in one place so that we can come together as a club. The second, more senior level is the Leadership Clubhouse, where membership is by application only, and you go through an entire approval process there, and you get all the benefits of the Adventure Clubhouse participation, plus you get to be in senior mentoring seminars, eligibility to create and chair local chapters, and the eligibility to market corporate memberships. And you touched on that a little bit, Doug, but there are some corporations out there that have hundreds of thousands of employees, and those clients can choose a mix of facilitator coach seats and Perfect Coaches end user seats. And then there's additional opportunities for coaching and consulting inside those organizations once you have. So the potential here is really limitless, basically what you'll make of it. So for joining us today, and I know we're bumping up against the bottom of the hour, if you joined us today, we want to make a special invitation to you to join us, be part of our first class of members at OurClub.tech. You go to OurClub.tech/membership-options. You will see that we have a 50% discount for coaches that sign up and that join us first. So OurClub.tech/membership-options. And don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn, which is where most of you probably found our invitation and our place, as well as Facebook and on Instagram. And Doug, everybody that joins,
the tie,
getting one of our club ties.
Club tie.
I'm looking forward to seeing everybody at our annual meeting or at a local tavern. So this has been great, a great way to kick this off. I'm very excited about meeting all of you in person and online. Doug, you have any final comments for the crowd?
Yes, my comment is this: look at our tagline and please take it seriously. When you join our club, you're going to look. Here's what you'll do: you can coach, You can lead, you can innovate, but most important, in my view, when I look at the future of this, you can belong. And that's why it's in italics. Belonging to an organization with a set of credentials good enough that you get a club tie. I won't try to explain that now. I had to explain it twice last night. What is a club tie? It's go to see Brian's explainer video on OurClub.tech. And if no thing happens as a result of this, you'll know what a club tie is.
So, Doug, great to see you.
Great seeing you.
I hope that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving and safe travels as you go. Everyone who joined us today, thank you so much, Doug. And I look forward to seeing everybody at our next happy hour. So thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.